Welcome to Nutty Buddy Sports.
Harden for Simmons, that's been the hot rumor. It's on again, off again type of relationship. Do you think we see a deal? How do you feel about that deal for both teams? Take it where you want it there, Clint.
Originally, I was going to say no. I saw tonight that Nets held out Harden. I think a lot of the leaks are coming from the Sixers. They want Harden, but I think Harden is sick of Kyrie, like the rest of us. I don't know if it will get done. I think as a Bucks fan, I would love for Harden to go to the Sixers because I think paying James Harden $200 million for the next 5 years is just approaching Westbrook level in a year or two. I think Simmons would actually fit nicely with Durant and Kyrie Irving, assuming Kyrie Irving can think like a human and, kind of get it in check going forward, as that's what they need. They need someone to play defense on that team. I would do it if I was the Nets because I'm not a big James Harden guy. Not that I don't think he's good. I don't think you can count on him in the playoffs. He's another guy like Zion, not highly motivated to stay in shape. He's had a hamstring injury the last year and a half. If I was the Sixers, I know Daryl Morey, they basically have a marriage together from their time in Houston. I don't know if I want to pay James Harden $200 and something million for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and the other thing is, so I love the trade for the Nets if that happened, because I do think like having someone like, could you imagine having Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant on the same team defensively? That'd be ridiculous. And I'd feel bad for Giannis a little bit just because Giannis will be, he'll again score his points, but that'll be the hardest 40 points he puts up because it'll be one or the other. I don't really like the fit with Embiid and Harden. And I know like people are going to be like, what are you talking about? Like this guy's the best pick and roll player or whatever. But Embiid plays really well with like right now, Seth Curry is just having this career year, right? Or JJ Redick. Like that's the type of player that Embiid plays real well with. And he's like playing at an MVP level. If you bring in someone like James Harden, you are going to have to change your entire offense. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good for Embiid or the 76ers. So I don't really like the trade for the 76ers if that trade would happen with Harden.
I agree. Like all those shooters they had, Redick, even Maxey right now, he can get downhill. He's quick. James and Embiid isn't a lob threat. Harden was great in Houston with Clint Capella because he just throw up those lobs. He's struggling with the Nets because they have no one he can throw those lobs to. And I believe he's career low, is finishing at the rim. So yes, Embiid draws attention, but James Harden isn't blowing by anyone this season. He doesn't shoot. He doesn't catch and shoot. There's plenty of videos against when he's with the Nets. He's just standing there in the corner. They swing the ball to him and he just head fakes and he wants to dribble drive. He's not a catch and shoot shooter. Maybe at the end of his career, he'll turn into one. But again, and then on defense, he's a huge problem. I mean, not that Seth Curry is a good defender. They can work around it a little bit, but they do the Sixers switch 1 through 4 when they have to. But if James Harden is your main defender and he's got to be out there, you can take Seth Curry off the floor. They have other guys. But if James Harden has got to be out there at the end of games, you're just going to run a 1-5 pick and roll with Giannis at the 1. You're going to have James Harden run that switch, or then Embiid's on Chris Middleton 25 feet from the hoop. Not just the Bucks, but all those playoff teams. I don't think it would be bad. The Sixers aren't going to be a 30-win team after that. I don't think it puts them to the next level because I don't think James Harden is improving from here on out. It's going to be slowly downhill. He's going to want the ball.
Yeah, and could you imagine like Philadelphia fans being mad at Ben Simmons because he didn't make that layup and he choked? He didn't shoot it or dunked it. And then you have James Harden having a game where he goes 2 for 15 in the fourth quarter, in a fourth quarter game or whatever. I mean, Philadelphia will turn on him pretty quick. And what guarantees you when you think about James Harden being like unhappy in Houston, even though Houston did everything he wanted? They got Chris Paul. He didn't want Chris Paul anymore. So they got Russell Westbrook. Didn't want Russell Westbrook anymore. Goes to the team that he wants over in, Brooklyn. And now he's not happy there. What guarantees you that he's going to be happy over by you now?
Yeah. And you're putting so many eggs in that basket. And if he gets hurt, he has a hamstring. Now you're back to square one, even if you just do a Harden for Simmons straight up. So at least you have someone who's playing. I just think they're going to play a game of chicken, and the Sixers are saying he's going to come here in free agency. We'll dump Simmons, trying to call the Nets bluff, and the Nets are like, all right, you can try to do that. But I think they wanted Seth Curry back with Harden
Simmons
and Simmons. Yeah, they wanted Simmons and Curry or Maxey. So I don't know. I do think it might get done though.
It could. Yeah.
I think James Harden is, as much as Steve Nash said they're not going to trade him, and as much as they're playing the cards close to the vest, like, I don't know. I think they're just going to ask James Harden tomorrow, you got to re-sign. Do you want to stay? And if it's a no, I think you got to get something, or you risk the Sixers sending Simmons to Portland and Tobias Harris to the Thunder, trading some draft picks, and then they have enough room to sign James Harden. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, before like all the news broke, because now we know Bradley Beal is done for the season. My thing, if I were the 76ers, and I'm not Daryl Morey and I'm not married to James Harden, so it's not like I have those emotional attachments that he does, but I would actually rather have Beal than Harden, because Beal is that type of player that plays off ball, catch and shoots. He could run off screens. Like he can be a better version of like a Seth Curry or a JJ Redick. Like, I'd rather have Beal than Harden, because you don't have to change your entire offense to fit Beal like you would Harden. So, but anyway, we'll see. It's going to be crazy. So before we go, one prediction you have, give me a crazy prediction. Give me a realistic prediction that we'll see before the trade deadline, and a crazy one.
I think that the Hawks are going to trade Gallinari to the Raptors for
interesting.
For Dragic, and I think he's going to get bought out and end up with the Mavs like he wanted to go.
Okay.
I think the Raptors they won like 6 in a row now, or like, hey, we need someone who can score. I think that's going to be their problem, is offense, and they have 4 or 5 guys that are just insane defenders. So I think that's like a under the radar, maybe not a huge needle mover that they'll do. I think the Harden Simmons one is like the one crazy. It's going to come down to 2:00 or whatever it is on Thursday afternoon to get done. But I think that there's going to be a lot of little things. I think one of the holdups is Harden Simmons. Can someone need to get in on that trade? Like, is it going to be a 3-team? And I even think with some of the other trades, they haven't even been done yet. Like, I don't think the Sabonis trade is official yet. So I think you mentioned Hield getting rerouted. The other trades were done already. The players played, but that Pacers one hasn't been official yet. So
right.
I wonder if there's trying to work, or third team's trying to get in and they just play it out the next day or two.
That, or they backed out like they did with the Milwaukee Bucks for Bogdanovic. So that could happen too.
Well, that's what happens when you have an owner that can't shut up.
So what do you guys think? Will James Harden be traded for Ben Simmons? Who do you think wins that trade if it happens? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you'd like to listen to us talk about other trades, fake trades, or even the trades that have already happened, click on the link below. That'll bring you to our podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.